Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Spot Betty over in the corner there. Hi, Kitty. And yeah, welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie and TV show I watched last week. And yeah, it was my birthday week. My birthday was September 5th on Friday. I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, which was nice to have a long weekend. And yeah, I mean, I had a pretty good week as well. Watched a lot of my which way did she go? I don't know which way she went. Anyways, watched a lot of my favorite movies. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start it off with the one and only season of TV that I watched this week, which was Ironheart, which I didn't really enjoy. I ranked it a 58 out of 100. I don't like Riri as a character at all. I didn't love her in Wakanda Forever, especially when rewatching Wakanda Forever a couple weeks ago, or last week, whatever it was. And yeah, I just didn't care for Riri at all in that, and I don't care even less for her now, to be honest. Just didn't really enjoy this show. It's actually one of my least favorite MCU things, although most of my MCU ratings are pretty high. So yeah, 58 is quite low for the MCU, so that kind of sucks, but at least for me. But yeah, let's move on to the movies, starting it off with one of the themes of the week, which is The Conjuring, number 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, which I didn't enjoy this movie very much. It's nothing special. It really is missing James Wan, I find. And I think this is the first time that Michael Chavez, or Michael Chaves, however you pronounce his name, takes over in the Conjuring franchise. He starts here with The Devil Made Me Do It, and then he does The Nun 2, and then he does the new one, of course, Last Rite. So, yeah, I mean, the Conjuring movies as a whole are up and down for a lot of people. A lot of people only really like the first 2 Conjuring movies, and after that, people don't really like the franchise. I personally really enjoy the franchise, but yeah, this movie I didn't enjoy. This is my least favorite of the franchise, and was just disappointed more than anything. Ranked it a 42 out of 100. Well, let's move on to The Conjuring: Lost Rites, which it's a nice send-off to these characters and to this franchise, but ultimately, I just was okay. I didn't think it was special really in any way. Yeah, I don't know. It was okay. It was nice to see this on my birthday. I always complained to Mel that no movies released on my birthday. This was released on my birthday, which I was very happy about, and I get to see it with a whole bunch of friends, which was nice, but yeah, overall just kind of disappointing, I guess, but yeah. Let's move on to The Nun 2, which I ranked a 53 out of 100, and this movie had a couple of moments that I didn't enjoy and a couple of moments that I did enjoy. Most notably, I really enjoyed my backdrop here. That sequence of Irene running down the corridors, down the streets in France to get to this magazine stand where Valak is absolutely fucking with her. It's so good. It's one of the best scenes in all of the Conjuring universe, in all 9 movies, I think, and it was fucking amazing. I loved it. It was fantastic. It's definitely, like I said, it's one of my favorite horror scenes. It's immediately shot up the list as memorable horror scenes to me, and it's fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. The rest of the movie is fine. I ranked it a 53 out of 100. This movie's rating is definitely inflated by that one tremendous scene. Well, let's move on to Challengers. This is a movie I've been gassing up to Mel ever since I watched it in December last year. Rewatching it, I ranked it a 76 out of 100. This was very clearly my favorite Luca Guadagnino movie, and it has now been dethroned, I think, to number 2. I think I have Call Me By Your Name at 77 or 74. I don't remember, to be honest. But yeah, this dropped a lot. It went from an 89 down to a 76. And this was just kind of a disappointing watch, to be honest. Rewatching this, and showing Mel this movie, I realized that this movie's quite slow, and it can definitely feel really slow. And I think the big reason as to why I love this movie so much the first time is the amazing score, which I still loved, and the final like 20 minutes. Like just the ending is fantastic. I love the ending. It's fantastic. I love the camera work we get following the tennis ball in the end as well. But yeah, this is an overly long movie, I think, and I definitely felt the runtime with it this time around. Mel didn't enjoy this movie at all, which she never thought she was going to anyways, but she kind of sucked it up for me this week to watch it, and yeah, anyways, rank it 76 out of 100. Let's move on to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I got to see in theaters yesterday, which is pretty cool. I got to see it in theaters for the 50th anniversary. And yeah, that was pretty cool. It was a fun experience as well. Ranked this a 79 out of 100. I did enjoy this movie. I think the ending was probably supposed to be a little bit more emotional than it was, at least for me. I'm sure that was the goal. The goal was for it to be an emotional movie, and that's that didn't really end up happening or affecting me, I don't think, a whole lot. Similarly to the Dead Poets Society, I feel like both of these movies are pretty good movies. There's some very good characters in it. There's some really good character moments, and then the end is pretty depressing, and you either, it obviously hits you hard or deeply, or it doesn't. And, I guess that's the difference. Betty? Sorry, I just wanted to check on Betty. All is good. Yeah, I just the emotional ending just didn't really hit for me, and I feel like it was probably supposed to, and unfortunately, it just didn't hit for me. Which that happens. So, 79 out of 100. I still think it's a really good movie. Let's move on to The Legend of Hay, which I ranked an 80 out of 100. Thought this was great. This is a really cute movie. I think it's... Sorry, Betty is going wild. The Legend of Hay is a really cute movie, or it starts off kind of cute because we are following this really adorable black cat, and this ends up turning out to be a really awesome movie. And this is just a really interesting and fun movie about like Chinese lore, and I think this is a great movie, and I really enjoyed it. Ranking an 80 out of 100. The big reason why I wanted to watch this is two reasons. One, I loved watching Neja a couple weeks ago, last month, and I kind of fell in love with Chinese anime at that point, and I really wanted to dive deep into that a little bit more. Went with The Legend of Hay because the new Legend of Hay just came out as well, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, ranked this an 80 out of 100. I enjoyed it. Let's move on to The Babysitter, which I watched last year for the first time. Absolutely fell in love with Samara Weaving. Absolutely fell in love with this movie. Kind of wanted to rewatch it just for fun. I ended up ranking it an 83, so I still enjoy this movie quite a bit. I lowered it from an 87 down to an 83, but yeah, I still quite enjoy this movie more than I think most people do. I have a great time with this movie every time so far, so yeah, and I love Robbie Amell in this. He's just hilarious. Yeah, great movie. Let's move on to The Legend of Hay 2, which I seen in theaters today, which I really enjoyed. Ranked in an 88 out of 100. There was a big portion in the middle of the movie where I was struggling to stay awake, which was just my own fault. I was just tired. I was just exhausted. It had nothing to do with the movie, so I think this could be even higher but on the list, but ended up ranking an 88 out of 100. And, one of the top reviews of this movie is very funny and very ironic because I'll read it to you guys, and I'll give you guys the credit on Letterboxd. Just give me one moment. Let me pull it up. Yes. I'd have a nickel for every animated movie from 2019 that focused on characters from Chinese mythology with a child as the lead and had a highly anticipated sequel come out in 2025 that touched on themes of class and identity politics, I'd have two nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, which is true. And yes, that is Corvid on Letterboxd. You guys go check them out. But yeah, I thought that was kind of hilarious because it's true. Both Neja from last month and then The Legend of Hay, both of the originals came out in 2019. Both of the highly anticipated sequels came out this year. This is kind of funny. And they both also feature Neja, obviously. Neja does, but Neja is also in these two Legend of Hay movies. Anyways, Legend of Hay 2 is great. Really enjoyed it. It's a great story. And the final 20-30 minutes of action is some insane action, which similar to Neja 2, to be fair. Just fantastic. Let's move on to kind of the bangers of the week. That's why there's so many movies in the thumbnail. I just watched so many good movies this week. I watched Jaws in theaters this week, the 50th anniversary. I got to see it with Ryan, and it was really awesome. It was really cool to see this on the big screen. It's an amazing movie that I've been wanting to rewatch as well because it's something I haven't seen since I first started ranking movies back in 2022. So I'm glad I was able to give it a rewatch, and especially in theaters, obviously, for the 50th anniversary as well. So that was pretty sweet. Let's move on to The Conjuring, which I also ranked a 90 out of 100. I kind of got a brand new appreciation for this movie this time around. I really enjoyed this movie when I've watched it the past couple times, but this time I gained even more of an appreciation for it, and I really fell in love with it once again. And it was nice to actually have, that feeling, I guess, because sometimes you can rewatch a horror movie and, it doesn't really hit. Well, any movie, I guess, but I find horrors are especially like that. And I really, really enjoyed getting to enjoy this movie more. And, yeah, I ranked it a 90 out of 100. This is a great movie. A lot of people's favorite of the Conjuring franchise. Not mine. We're about to get to that. But, yeah, I enjoyed it. Plus, it's the start of spooky season, so let's go. Well, let's move on to Bullet Train, which I ranked a 91 out of 100. And I got to show Mel, which she also enjoyed this movie, which I was very happy about. I didn't think she was going to really enjoy this movie a whole lot, even though it's a action comedy. It's not really her style of film, so I really made Mel branch out this week, and she kind of, like I said, she kind of sucked it up for my birthday, so I was happy about that, and I'm thankful for that. But yeah, Bullet Train ranked it a 91. It just gets better every time I rewatch it, to be honest. I've rewatched it every year since it's come out, and like I said, it just gets better every time with every watch, so 91 out of 100. Let's move on to The Conjuring 2, which is my favorite of the Conjuring franchise, and all of the Conjuring movies, I guess, as well. Ranked it a 92 out of 100. I don't know, special spot in this one for me. We got two of the most iconic, the most iconic villain in this franchise, in my opinion, the Nun. Some people would probably argue Annabelle, but I don't know. I think Valak is probably the goat of The Conjuring, and I have such a love for The Crooked Man. Yeah, and Ed and Lorraine are just the greatest couple to ever do it. That's just a fact. So, 92 out of 100. Let's move on to American Psycho, which I almost started this movie with Mel, and I think I need to ease Mel into some, grittier movies before she gets to American Psycho, because it's a little gory. Obviously, it's very fake blood, but it's hilarious. This movie's hilarious, but I don't want to scare Mel too much. Mel's a little bit of a baby, depending on the movie, because she just gets scared easily, and she has nightmares a lot, and I don't want to put her under that torment or anything, so I don't want her to be scared of the stuff we're watching. But yeah, American Psycho, rewatched it, ranked it a 98 out of 100. Like I said, with Bullet Train, just gets better every time. Let's move on to kind of more of the same. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This is how I usually end the year every year. This is my go-to end of the year movie, but this movie is so fucking good, man. And I can't believe I managed to convince Mel to sit through it and watch it. and she did good. She wasn't really emotional at all, only like once, which I was very happy about. But yeah, we have such a soft spot for cats, but especially Betty, obviously. So yeah. Anyways, this is a fantastic movie. My favorite DreamWorks movie. My favorite DreamWorks villain. Favorite Fearless Hero is one of my favorite fucking musical songs ever. I love this shit. And yeah, 98 out of 100. Let's move on to X-Men Days of Future Past. We're now at the top 3 of the week. Days of Future Past was a movie I rewatched last year when I was going through all of my 100 out of 100s to see, which ones were still accurate to that around this time last year, around my birthday. And this was actually one that got lowered down to a 98 out of 100. And rewatching it this time around, I'm like, why? I don't know why. I don't know why I lowered this movie last year, because I knew this was still my favorite X-Men movie. I've always known that. I knew Logan was number 2. But for some reason last year, I lowered this down to a 98 and I lowered Logan down to a 99. And yeah, Days of Future Past has just always been my favorite X-Men movie. I fucking love this movie so much. And Magneto aura farming is the key to me liking a movie. That's just true. And yeah, 100 out of 100 again, which I'm glad to have that there. So, all right, let's move on to really how I spent my birthday with Christopher Nolan, with Oppenheimer, which I ranked at 100 out of 100. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is in my top 10 movies of all time. I love this movie so very much. Watched it on my birthday with a double feature with my favorite watch of the week in my top 4 ever, which is Interstellar. This is peak. This is Nolan's peak. Both of these movies are, but yeah, 100 out of 100. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. Sorry this video was kind of chaotic and there's lots of cuts and edits, but yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.